Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 5 of What If Naruto Had this Storm release. If you guys enjoy this What If and want to see part 6 of it, comment down below and let me know. The like goal for this video is 100 likes. So like this video to let me know that you're interested in this series and you want the next part. And go ahead and check out other What Ifs in the channel. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. Naruto woke up groaning, "Damn, I feel like just headbutted Kyuubi," he thought to himself while rubbing his head. "Glad to see you're up," Yamato said while reading the book about bloodline. "How long was I out?" Naruto asked as he got up to get ready. "One day. Let's go, I will tell you what happened on the way," Yamato told his apprentice while he got up as well. When he got out of the room, Naruto noticed he was upstairs in Tezuna's house, but as soon as he came down, he was met with Inari by the infamous tackle hug. He made out only 3 words of Inari's exciting babbling: hero, save and thank you. After settling down Inari, he figured out that the village was going to throw a celebration party the day after for their liberation, where most of the villagers were involved, and they were more than welcomed. Naruto and Yamato went to meet Kakashi, Zabuza and his accomplice. What Naruto heard from Yamato, that the metal guy escaped after Yamato left him, and he truly wasn't working for Zabuza, nor did the demon brothers, only the guy he fought back at the bridge. He was also informed that Team 7 would be guarding the bridge in Tezuna, although there were no chances of Tezuna getting attacked, but they were not taking any risks. They were to meet with Zabuza cause after Gato's betrayal. There was no reason for them to continue fighting, so they stopped their battle. Moreover, Zabuza also helped out to hold back the thugs. According to Kakashi, this meeting was just a mean to say their farewell. At the meeting place, Naruto and Yamato came to their meeting place to find Zabuza looking at Kakashi with sympathy, who was weeping at some frozen pieces of a book. Seeing them arriving, Zabuza shook his head. "Finally, the brat is here. There, go ahead." Zabuza motioned the masked man. "Naruto-san, nice to meet you again. I hope you don't hold a grudge about what happened before," Masked Nin asked in a deep voice. "Nah, it's cool. So what are you guys going to do now?" Naruto asked. "Before that, can I ask you why you didn't kill me?" Masked Nin inquired. Seeing Naruto's expression, he explained, "When you use your taijutsu technique, I was heading for the ground head first. If I had hit like that, surely my neck would have broken, but one of your clone interfered by tackling me sideways. That, because you didn't harm my comrades that bad. You were always giving me chances, and I am sure you went easy on them as well. So why kill you when I can just knock you out?" Naruto answered as a matter of fact. Masked Nin was stunned at his response. He just said thank you. "Done? Now let's go. We wasted enough time as it is, and we don't have Ryo, not a single fucking Ryo." Zabuza grumbled out. "What do you mean?" Naruto asked curiously. "What I mean, brat, that after all the shit that we went through, I don't have any single Ryo with me, and now I have to go find other jobs to raise funds." Zabuza barked. He was not having a good day. "Why don't you loot Gato's hideout then? He looked like someone who would have tons of cash and shit in his hideout," Naruto simply stated. Everyone moved their heads and looked at Naruto with a blank face. Few hours later. "So what are we doing here again?" Naruto asked his sensei. Currently he, Yamato, Zabuza and his partner were hiding in front of Gato's hideout. They, pointing towards Zabuza and his accomplice Yamato, started explaining, "Want to rob the place, and we are here on an unofficial C-rank mission from Wave to find anything useful for them. They will mark it down and later we'll send our payments." Naruto shook his head and just asked one thing: "Do you want to do it the subtle way or the Naruto way?" "Let's see the Naruto way," Zabuza said with a smirk. Before Yamato could protest, Naruto grinned and charged, yelling his favorite jutsu, Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu. An hour later. "This is great." Zabuza was having a field day. When they came, it was already chaotic here after the news of Gato's demise. But when the remaining thugs saw the sea of clones attack them with a laughing Zabuza, shit just got worse. They finished of the rest of the thugs. They were relieved when they saw Gato's main vault room was unharmed. Opening it wasn't that hard for them, but what they found there surprised them. Ryo and expensive objects were there too, as well as some documents of importance to their guests. But what shocked them was there were some ninja items as well, and from the look of it, they were quite rare ones too. One item caught Naruto's attention, which was a silver locket with Uzumaki's symbol in it. He looked at Yamato for confirmation, and when he got it, he took it and shoved it in his pocket. "Wow, this place is stacked. Guess it was worthwhile after all." Zabuza grinned. "You know the deal, Zabuza, some of it we are taking for the Wave. I am pretty sure they do belong to them," Yamato said sternly. Zabuza just waved him off. Even half of this place was more than he thought. "Why don't you just take over the business as well?" Naruto asked while he was inspecting a taijutsu scroll. He couldn't actually understand what it was, but by the looks of it, it looked like something certain someone could use. Zabuza slowly turned to him. "What? Without looking at him, Naruto pressed on. I mean, Gato is dead, and last I heard he was some kind of multimillionaire pig or something, and had a big business. Why not just take over the damn business? If you can't maintain it properly, just give it to any trustworthy people and share the profit, or whatever. I am sure you will make better use of it than that puny bastard. He pocketed the scroll and turned around. If that pighead can do it, I am sure anyone can. Few moments later, Naruto's face was turning from blue to purple. Why? Because Abusa got him in a headlock and was pulling hard on his side, while Yamato got him by the leg pulling on the opposite side. Give me the boy. He will be the salvation of Kiri. Can't. Hell no. He is my student. I ain't giving you shit. Right there. Go fuck yourself, you tree-hugging monkey. Save. Suck on your sword, baby demon. Mommy, daddy. After a while, Zabuza was growling while pulling out the Cenobans from his butt cheek. Zabuza-sama, you shouldn't try to get stuffs, looking at Naruto, or people like that. The masked nin chided. Zabuza waved him off. Meanwhile, Yamato was trying to bring Naruto back to the conscious land. What happened? I saw white light and two figures were calling me. Naruto said in a dazed expression. Nothing, Naruto, just a bad dream. Yamato answered quickly. Zabuza just smirked and looked at the documents. It was more than enough now. He knew he wasn't the type to do this kind of stuffs, but if it was that person, maintaining the millionaire business might be possible. And with all of these other plans would advance faster than they predicted. But he had to make the next move. He didn't want it to be like that last time. Remove the mask. Zabuza said to his accomplice, more like as an order. The Hayate user was surprised, but removed the mask. Haku? Naruto asked, surprised. With Team 7. The bridge was almost done. Even with all the cheering, Team 7 wasn't in very good mood. Sakura was sighing because she didn't contribute much in this mission. Sai was because he didn't get enough info on either Naruto or the missing nins. Sasuke because he realized even with the Sharingan he still had a long way to go. The crushing defeat put a bad taste on his mouth. Kakashi-sensei, why did you let Zabuza and his accomplice go? Sakura asked. You were not in the front line, Sakura. Zabuza helped keeping the thugs in bay with me, and Naruto before the villagers came. So I just can't backstab him after that. Kakashi explained. We should have removed them, they are missing nin, and they might cause problems for Konoha later. Sai said as if he was reading an instruction. Pray tell me who told you that. Cause as far as I remember neither I, nor the academy teaches that way. Kakashi said in sing-sang voice, already knowing the answer. Sai shut up knowing, not to agitate his sensei any more than he already did. Back with Naruto. So you use Haku as to gather information on her normal self, while on combat she dresses as a boy to either help you directly or act as a hunter nin to get you out of trouble. Yamato summarized the information then asked, but why are you telling us all that? For the past hour, Zabuza explained how did he and Haku met, and how did they operate together. Haku was a girl with a kind nature, and for that Zabuza usually wouldn't order her to intervene with their missions directly. It was either by acting like a normal girl she would gather information or wearing hunter nin mask with same getup, she would save Zabuza from tight spots. But if things would go really bad then she would fight directly using her other mask. So that you can take her with you. Zabuza said with a grim voice. What? All three shouted in unison, but before they could retort he gestured them to stop and listen first. He looked to Haku. Haku, with all of these I have right now, I will meet with the main rebellion forces, and things will start getting ugly for sure. Last time I lost too many of my friends and comrades, when our assassination attempt on the Mizukage and the coup d'etat failed. As a shinobi, you don't know when you will die, but if you come with me Haku, the risk is higher cause of your bloodline. I don't want to risk losing my daughter. Haku sobbed and ran to hug Zabuza who returned her hug and started stroking her hair. But if she comes with us, you know she would have to be a leaf shinobi, and there is her record of helping you. Yamato asked, not sure where this was going. Well, as far as I am concerned, a boy who has height and helped me, not a girl who is good with water jutsu. Just keep her bloodline a secret for now, and tell those who you can truly trust. Zabuza said, but everyone understood the request he was implying. Hell yeah, we will take care of Hakuni, and she can join our group. Tabayo. Naruto grinned. Everyone was looking at him like he grew a second head. I like this kid. Zabuza said with even bigger grin. Haku was stunned. Naruto just called her Hakuni, and Zabuza declared her as his daughter. This day was getting better and better for her except for Zabuza's leaving part. Naruto, things are not easy. I won't prank Anbu anymore. Zabuza, don't worry, we will take care of Haku, and it will be good to have a level-headed shinobi in my team for once. Yamato said in a very sincere voice. Naruto snorted but didn't say anything. Take care of yourself, Haku. Zabuza stroked Haku's hair one last time, and then motioned Naruto to come to him. In the village, Yamato and Naruto decided to tell Kakashi about Haku, and later they would tell Sandaime. For now they were going with the guard bluff that Haku was again a level ninja who unwillingly served and guarded Gato, and after hearing his death, she wanted a clean start. Sakura didn't have any thought about it. Sai assumed that it was a normal procedure, but Sasuke felt something wrong. When he was practicing to keep his Sharingan up for a long time, he saw Haku's chakra, and it felt similar to the masked nin. But seeing no one was making any fuss, he decided to keep quiet for now. The Konoha Shinobis decided that with everything completely done, and they should be heading back. You will be coming back, right, Nii-san? Inari sobbed. Of course, but you better be stronger, Inari. Naruto laughed while ruffling Inari's hair. Saying their goodbye, they started to head back. So what should we name our bridge now? Tazuna asked his villagers. Maybe the Great Super Tazuna Bridge. His reply was an awkward silence. Fine, how about naming after our hero? The Great Naruto Bridge. Hearing that, everyone shouted in approval. Hokage Tower. The way back to Konoha wasn't bad. Team 7 kept to themselves while Naruto was talking non-stop with Haku, and she seemed to enjoy that. And after reaching Konoha, they went straight to the Hokage office. Giving the normal brief, Kakashi dismissed his team and stayed back for the second briefing. So Haku here is an apprentice of Zabuza, an A-rank missing nin, while holding Hayaten, a rare bloodline, and she wants asylum here in Konoha for safety cause. Zabuza is going to make bigger problem now in Kiri, if I am not mistaken. Tell me if I got everything right. The old Hokage sighed while rubbing his forehead. Hokage-sama, Haku here is a talented person, and for the time being we decided it is better that her bloodline is hidden for now, until we have everything solidified, so that some unwanted people can't cause trouble. And it would be best if Haku joins our team. Yamato insisted. So what about you, Haku? Say if Kiri is in trouble, who would you choose? Konoha or Kiri? Hokage asked to test Haku's loyalty. Hokage-sama, I don't have any good memories or attachment in Kiri, and if Konoha can give me people that can become my precious ones, then I would die for Konoha. Hokage relaxed, but Hokage-sama, if I hear Zabuza-sama is in trouble, I would like to help him at any cost. Rest assured I would take any necessary punishment for doing so, and I would rather die than to sell any Konoha secrets. Haku finished with a determined voice. Hiruzen started thinking what would be the best course of action. Naruto sighed. Guess he has to pull one of his trump cards. If you let Haku join my team, I will prank Anbu for 4 months. Hokage jumped from his seat. Make it 6 months and you got yourself a deal. Naruto just waved his hand showing he was okay with it, but didn't show his usual jumpy attitude. Hiruzen was saddened, but didn't show it on the outside. After that incident he tried to crack a joke once in a while to see Naruto laugh, but never got the reaction he wanted. He really missed Naruto's smile and his hearty attitude. Alright, Gen and Haku will be joining the backup team under Yamato's command. Hokage started writing some document and gave it to Yamato. Yamato read it and looked at Haku. Welcome to the backup team. Thank you for letting Haku to stay with Naruto. Yamato said sincerely. They both seemed to view each other as a family. Besides, after all the hardships that kid went through, he deserves every bit of happiness he can get. Hiruzen said while smoking through his pipe. I just hope Naruto forgives this old man for his incompetence to do anymore. Though he whispered the last part only for himself. What about them? Yamato asked in a serious voice. Hiruzen put his pipe down and thought about it for a while before continuing. Do what Zabuza said. The girl knows Hayaten, so she must be good in water element. Teach her more in that particular area. The only person that may find out something about Haku is Danzo because of Sai, which may cause problems if we don't handle it appropriately. So make sure Haku doesn't use anything that she used on the last battle, and if possible try to tell her not to use her senbons too much either. Our bloodline can't be kept secret forever, but it is better if that part is told sometime later, when she is more prepared. Hiruzen explained. Sometimes he wondered if his elders were meant to hamper his work rather than to help him. Maybe he ought to find some replacement for them. Sooner the better. Thank you, I will tell Haku about it. Also, can we take a week off, Sandaime-sama? Haku has to adjust with our team first, and it might take a while. Yamato pointed out. Sure, they need a break after a long A-rank mission. Hiruzen agreed. With Naruto. Naruto-kun, when was the last time you cleaned this place? Haku sighed. Everywhere it was the same for her. Even while traveling with Zabuza, he would leave everything to her except the killing and maiming part. Naruto laughed nervously while stroking his hair on the back. He was glad that Hokage let Haku to stay with him, as he really needed some company at home. Sure, training with friends and sensei is fun, but at the end when he returned home, it reminded him of what he was missing. Don't worry Hakuni, I will clean this up in a jiffy. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 3 clones popped into existence. Alright guys, go start cleaning the place. One of you go and get a futon, but be sure to henge yourself. Naruto ordered out. The clones made a mock salute gesture and ran to do their parts. I will help Naruto-kun, I am used to this so don't worry. With that Haku started helping the clones, but it was more her ordering around the clones. By the way Naruto-kun, what was all the pranking the Anbu about? Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. He really didn't know how Haku would take it. Well, me and my friend thought it would be good for my infiltration and sensing skills. Naruto replied, looking rather embarrassed, but seeing Haku's confused face, he knew that he had to elaborate further. It is nothing dangerous and I don't go inside more restricted areas. All I do is just to get inside Amos's bases without getting noticed and pranking them. It will mostly be something like coloring their cloths or switching the toilet signs, harmless pranks if I might add. It helps a lot for my self-training, and the best part is that everyone knows it is me, but they don't have proof. Naruto finished while laughing, trying to sound like an evil mastermind. You wear orange and your hair color is blonde, and you are telling me that Konoha's Anbu can't capture you? Haku deadpanned. Ah, that is a trade secret, my dear Hakuni. Naruto replied while waving his index finger. He chuckled inwardly, remembering how it all started. Flashback. So after painting the Hokage's faces, I was able to keep them off my ass for 2 whole hours until Iruka-sensei caught me. Naruto explained his last grand prank enthusiastically. It does sound quite amusing, especially the fact that you were wearing all orange and still lasted that long. Raiju chuckled. Naruto beamed up. From time to time both of them would just sit around and talk about themselves. Naruto really cherished these moments. So when are you going to strike next? Raiju asked, smirking. I wish I could, but now that I am Genin, it won't be a good idea. Naruto pouted. Raiju thought for a while, from what he learned after hearing Naruto's stories, that he was quite good at pranking and usually didn't get caught immediately, meaning he knew how to infiltrate and keep himself hidden for quite some time. Raiju grinned. The kid knew lots of good ninja skills, but used them only for pranking, and in real ninja missions he was like a brawler, more like a hot-headed fighter. Raiju looked at Naruto and thought for a minute if he could use this to train Naruto. Why not keep pranking but target higher? It was quite a show before, but now with the ninja's skills and jutsu you have, your pranking will be more amusing. Raiju baited. Really? Naruto jumped up. He looked at Raiju with excited, expecting eyes. Yes, continue pranking, but don't do it often. Plan it out, and target high strong places like Jonin Lounge, Anbu Base. Especially Anbu Base. But Raiju sternly said before Naruto could say anything, change your attire fully, use your jutsus wisely, observe the place you are going to strike, and make sure you left no evidence to trace the prank back to you. Wouldn't it be more fun if everyone knows who is doing the pranks, but no way to catch him? Raiju explained. Naruto's determined eyes answered everything. Raiju chuckled openly. Flashback ends. After that Naruto made a special getup, and used it only when he pranked. It was a normal Anbu attire, but the flak jacket and metal arm guards were dark gray, and it also had a hoodie to cover his head to hide his hair. He also used face mask to cover his whiskers and dark sunglass to hide his eyes. All in all, it was the perfect getup for him to infiltrate any place. No one was able to catch him, except Iruka, when he used to wear the Kill Me orange jumpsuit. But the hell was going to catch him now that he wore the Dark Knight suit of his? Naruto shook his head while chuckling. Anything I should know? Haku said, smiling. Nah, just remembered something funny. Naruto replied back. So I am to guess you used some super awesome jutsu to prank the Anbu? Haku smiled while ordering the clones to clean. I could get used to this, she thought to herself. Heh, you are the one that has super awesome ice jutsu, the Mirror of Doom. Naruto exaggerated. It is not that strong, Naruto-kun, Haku giggled. It is a B-rank ice release area type jutsu. But you beat mine with yours, didn't you? Haku pointed out. What was that anyway? That reminds me now that you will be on our team, so I guess I should tell you that. Naruto leaned in with serious face. Haku was taken aback by the gesture, but she got serious and leaned in as well. You are in a super awesome team filled with super epic members. Naruto jumped back cheering. Haku looked at him and then facepalmed. With the outside clone. The clone just bought a new futon and some other necessary stuff, except cloths, for Haku. After Naruto found out that just by using hen she can buy stuffs at a normal rate, he used it regularly, even though it hurt a bit every time seeing how people viewed him. Suddenly the clone was pulled back from his thought by a voice. Hello Naruto-kun, how was your last mission? Hinata asked in a gentle voice. The clone looked at Hinata and lightened up. Why not come and ask the boss? He would be pissed if he learns that I talked to you and you didn't come after that. The clone shivered a bit. A pissed of Naruto was someone no one should tread lightly, if especially Hinata was involved. Prime example, Neji the arrogant fate-whipped bitch. Sure Naruto-kun. By the way, what are all those stuffs you are carrying? Hinata asked. Well you see. Sometime later. I wonder, do you even clean your place at all? Haku sighed when she put the last garbage bag out. Hey, for my defense I always train so usually don't have enough time. Naruto defended himself. What would you do, if any girl would want to come at your place? Haku asked with a smirk. Before Naruto could reply there was a knock on the door. I am getting that. Saying that, Haku went and opened the door to see Naruto's other clone with a girl. She had to admit to herself the girl was quite cute and beautiful, but for some reason she looked a tad bit agitated. The clone went inside and dispelled himself. Moments later Naruto came out and brightened up. From the clone's memory he learned that Hinata knew about what happened back at Wave, at least the summarized version. Hey Hinata-chan. Glad you came, I was going to introduce Hakuni to my friends anyway. Looking at Haku, he continued, Hakuni, this is Hinata-chan, a very close friend of mine. Hinata blushed after hearing Naruto's declaration, but she moved a bit closer to Naruto, and took a hold of his jacket lightly, as if saying to Haku that Naruto belonged to her. Haku chuckled at the whole ordeal, but before she could talk to Hinata, Naruto beamed up, oh, you want to hug me, Hinata-chan? Yep. Hinata squeaked when Naruto gave her a huge bear hug. Score. Naruto thought to himself, while tightening his hug, and stroking her hair with his cheek. But his happy moment didn't last long as he felt some stinging feeling in his hand. He took a look to see that some senbons hit his bicep. He growled at Haku, and tightened his hug with Hinata. What the hell, Hakuni? Haku didn't say anything but pointed at Hinata. Naruto picked her up a bit to look at her face to see she fainted, while steams were coming out from her ears. Naruto just sighed. Why don't you put the poor girl down? Haku suggested, although she was enjoying the drama. Yeah, got it. Naruto picked Hinata up bridal style, and cradled her body tighter while went around the house, to put her in his bed. He could have just put her down in the sofa, it was closer. Haku just shook her head. Naruto-kun, go get some foods please and no clones. Haku suggested, but it sounded more like an order. Why? Naruto whined loudly. Because there's no decent food in here, and your friend there might be hungry, and I want to talk with her alone. Haku said firmly. Naruto just grunted and went out mumbling. Now as for you. Haku went to the kitchen and started looking for some smelling salt. After half an hour later, Naruto was seriously pissed. Chances like this didn't come often. He knew he just couldn't go and hug Hinata anytime he wanted, but today he found an excuse to hug her, and Haku had to ruin it. She was so soft. Naruto giggled to himself, damn, control man. Control. Well, at least he could spend the whole day with her today. He wanted to run there, but with all the food he was carrying, he just jogged for now. He could use Shadow Clone, but Yamato warned him not to use that too much on public places. He also got some cinnamon bun as an apology for Hinata. Maybe he could ask her to come and train with him and Haku. Oh, the possibilities. Unbeknownst to him, Sakura and Ino were talking in front of the same road. When Sakura saw Naruto, she just rolled her eyes and told Ino, here we go again. The baka is going to ask for another date. Ino just giggled a bit, but you have to admit he looks a bit cooler now. Sakura looked at Ino with a raised eyebrow. Hey girls, how are you doing? Naruto asked when he saw them, but before he could say any more, Sakura raised her hand. No, Naruto, I am not going on a date with you, even you buy sweet stuffs for me. Sakura said in an annoyed voice. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Sorry Sakura, I didn't come to ask you out, and this is not for you. Sheesh. Naruto replied back with an annoyed voice as well and just walked past them. The girls were dumbfounded at his response. Did Naruto just shove you aside, Sakura? Ino asked in a surprised tone. Sakura didn't know what to say. Naruto just kept grumbling all the way till he reached his apartment. He opened his door only to hear some giggling, much to his confusion. He put the stuffs and went to the kitchen to see Hinata and Haku were talking animatedly and giggling to themselves, as if they were best friends. Hearing the sound, both girls looked back to see the blonde staring at them. Did you bring the food? Haku asked. Naruto looked at her. How long was I out? Next day. Come on, don't tell me you are still grumpy about yesterday. Haku said with a fake apologetic tone. Naruto looked at her with narrowed eyes, and just grumbled some incoherent words. Right now they were at training ground 15 waiting for their sensei. But the reason Naruto was very pissed because yesterday after he reached home, Hinata just talked to him for a few moments and went back to her place. She did say that she would come to train with them today, but he knew something happened between her and Haku, but when he asked, all she said was that they had some girl talk, that's all. Haku smirked a bit. Yesterday after waking Hinata up with the help of the smelling salt, they did have a girl-to-girl talk, but Naruto didn't need to know the subject of their discussion. Flashback. So, let me get this straight. You don't want to ask Naruto-kun out, because you are afraid he might reject you, because you think he likes this other girl named Sakura. Haku summarized what they talked about for the last 10 minutes, after they got the facts straight, that Haku saw Naruto as a brother, they got on well together. Haku-san, I liked him for a long time, but just recently he seemed to care for me as a really good friend, and I know it may cross the line sometime in the future, but I don't want to push it for now. Hinata replied dejectedly. The way he was feeling you up told me otherwise. Haku thought to herself, you know he cares for you a lot, right? Seeing Hinata nodding her head slightly, Haku continued, so why don't you make sure he is the one to ask you out first? Haku grinned. Hinata snapped her head towards her. What? How? Haku laughed. All you got to do is. Flashback ends. They decided that Hinata would play hard to get with Naruto until he cracks, and knowing him he would just flatly ask her out. Haku looked at Naruto, who was torturing a leaf with a kunai. By the looks of it, I will be surprised if he can survive this till the end of the week. Haku thought to herself. After 5 minutes later, Yamato came, who just looked questionably at Naruto, then at Haku, who just shrugged. Yamato coughed to get Naruto's attention, which did. Now once again, welcome to the back of Team Haku. Usually we as a Genin team tend to do D-rank missions and sometimes C-rank mission, but after the unfortunate mishap on our last C-rank mission, Haku blushed slightly. Sandarime-sama thought that we could use a break to take a rest as well as to work on our team formation. Hearing that, Naruto's mood brightened a bit. So it is for the best if we should start early, but first of all Haku, you need to follow some precautions for your own safety if I must say. Haku was confused but nodded her head anyway. First, you can't use your bloodline for the time being like Sabusa said, at least not out in the open. Don't worry, it is not like in Kiri. Just some safety measures against some dangerous people. Haku released a breath of relief. For now you have to rely on your water release, which I will supervise to make it stronger, and unless it is an emergency situation, do not use your bloodline or your needles, so that no one can trace them back to the masked nin you used to be. If you want to train your ice release, tell me beforehand, so we could go to more secluded place for that. Yamato explained. Yeah, welcome to one of the most awesome team ever. Naruto said while feeling a bit better. Moping the floor around wouldn't do any good for him. He would just try to spend more time with her, now that he had a break. Seeing Haku didn't take him seriously, he pouted. Really, we are an awesome team. Yamato-sensei, can I tell her? Yamato laughed a bit and nodded. Haku-ni, Yamato-sensei got wood release bloodline, you got ice release bloodline, and last, but not least I got the best, the storm release. Haku's eye became as white as a dinner plate. Every one of her team had a bloodline, and all of those were rare elemental ones as well. That reminds me. Here Naruto, your swords. I bought new ones, because the old ones are beyond repairing. Please try to take care of these. Yamato rubbed his forehead. Hey, it is not my fault that my jutsu is awesome. Naruto snorted. Wait, when did your swords broke? Haku asked confusedly. Oh that, it was when I used the jutsu to beat your horror mirror. Naruto said idly. What was that anyway? Haku remembered that jutsu too well, but she didn't quite get what the jutsu was. Simple actually, I combined my kenjutsu technique with storm release. I pumped my swords with lightning chakra, and then at the last moment I use a kenjutsu technique. And release a water wave which, while passing through my lightning, charged swords combines with the lightning, and creates a dense thunder-based energy beam. Cool, isn't it? Naruto explained gleefully. I would say it is a higher rank jutsu with lots of drawbacks. Yamato gave his opinion as well. Hey, not my fault. If the swords were high quality, I can just pump up lightning chakra fast, instead of doing it slowly, so the swords don't explode in my face. And you know I can throw the jutsu few times within a short span of time. Naruto pouted. Yamato just waved him off. Wow, it really is an amazing jutsu. No wonder it beat my demonic mirror because it was only high B rank. Haku stated her opinion. Enough with the small talks for now guys, we should start training fast. We got a break for 1 week, and each day of the week I will come and train you guys till noon or afternoon. What are you going to do after that is all up to you, but if you need my help after the timeline feel free to ask me. Both of his genin nodded. He smiled at that. Okay, for now Naruto, you know what you have to do. Yes, I learned that this lightning exercise is not about getting more experience, it is more about concentration, so I will do it myself, rather than using the clones. Yamato smirked hearing that. But I will make some clones so that they can do the first level of water release exercise. Yamato nodded. Okay, I will make one shadow clone that will go with you. You need to be in a quiet place to concentrate on your exercise. Rest of your clones will follow me and Haku. Both of us will be training near the waterfall. Moreover, I need to tell Haku about our codes and team tactics. And also, looking at Haku, he continued, I will need to evaluate your skills myself to see where you stand. Hi sensei. Haku replied with a serious tone as well. Zabuza gave her another chance and she wouldn't let him down. Alright, let's begin. Later that day. The time to keep the light going increased by 2 minutes, so now for full 7 minutes Naruto can balance his lightning chakra perfectly. He smirked seeing his own accomplishment, and went back to meet his other teammates with Yamato's clone. His smirk widened when he saw Hinata was there, and by the looks of it, she just arrived. Hey Hinata-chan, how are you doing? Naruto practically flew through the training ground and came close to Hinata. Hinata blushed seeing Naruto's eagerness to meet her. Hello Naruto-kun, I am doing fine. You look tired. The bulb just lit above Naruto's head. Yeah, I kinda am, so want to come and grab lunch together. Don't worry about that, Haku came smirking. When she saw both of them she asked Yamato if they could take a break for now. I made lunch for today, we can all share, right Yamato-sensei? Yamato, not getting what was going on, replied back, you sure we all can have lunch here? Naruto hit the ground face first. Seeing that Haku's smirk widened and Hinata giggled inwardly. Yamato just looked at all of them confusedly. Did I miss something? Fire everywhere, burning everything. I hear people screaming not for help but for their loved ones to abandon them. And yet their beloveds are ignoring their pleas and trying to save them, while dying with them. No one is going to be spared, not the kids, not the mothers or the olds. It is a genocide. I see one person came to me running, and telling me something. What is he saying? I opened my eyes, same dream, huh? I got up and took the object of my salvation. 3 more years. I whispered to no one. There are lots of things that needed to be done. With Haku. Haku moved the curtains to let the morning light in. She looked out to see the streets of Konoha. It was so different from her birthplace. She remembered living on the streets, trying to survive any way she could. The only reason she didn't meet her tragic end was because she took his hand. Even though he told her that all he wanted was an obedient weapon, she knew better. It wasn't hard to see because of the way he treated her. Shaking her head, she opened the window and looked back to see Naruto snoring. Even though the light was directly on his face, it didn't bother him at all, although he was moving around too much. When she turned her head, her gaze fell onto her new headband. She really liked her new super awesome team, which was known as the backup team. She looked back at Naruto and wondered where he got all his energy from. She briefly wondered if that was how it felt to have an energetic younger brother. It didn't take long for Haku to get along well with Naruto and Yamato. Her sensei even showed her his bloodline, and she didn't know why, but for some reason it made her to bond well with him. Yamato did warn her though, about not revealing her bloodline as it may complicate things. It was just fine like that, because she felt that she was being too dependent on her ice release. She wanted to start fresh, and her sensei was more than willing to help her on that. She was glad that Yamato took a break for their team. It was for her to get used to her new life, and also for her to get acquainted with civilians and shinobi of Konoha. The training was also a huge plus on her book. The last few days of the break, Naruto and Haku constantly trained from morning till afternoon, sometimes stretching the time to evening. Hinata would the most of the time at late noon. Haku looked at Naruto who was groaning on his bed and sighed. She just wished they would start dating already, so the atmosphere would calm down. Admittedly, it was her fault for telling Hinata to play hard to get, but at least now Naruto was getting serious, at least she hoped he was. In the past week Naruto introduced Haku to his other friends and his classmates. Most of them seemed to be good people. The thing was, staying with Zabuza made her to pick up few things onto how to categorize people. It may sound horrible to others, but they were shinobi. It was for everyone's sake, she learned it through experience. Ino and Sakura were more like fangirls than Kunoichi. They should act more like Tenten and Hinata who would always take their profession quite seriously. Lee was the energetic brawler type, like Naruto. Shino, Shikamaru and Choji were good, but they lacked spirit. Also just meeting few times with Shikamaru made Haku to understand that he was the strategic type of guy. Kiba was the strong tracker type, but he was the type that was easy to provoke, and Haku could see he had a problem focusing around girls. Sai, Neji and Sasuke were the problematic types. Haku knew they were strong, two she faced herself and the other she saw when he was sparring with his teammates. But their view on life and how they approach others was what worried Haku. She met a lot of shinobi like that on Kiri, and all of them met a tragic end. She wished they would see the fault on their lifestyle, for their own sake. Haku looked at the clock and sighed. She went to Naruto and without warning threw him from the bed. To Naruto's credit, he landed on his feet, but he had this crazy look on his face. Raymond. Hinata. Fight. We have training after half an hour. Haku rubbed her forehead. She felt sorry for Hinata. At least the first in Naruto's dream wasn't a person. Link. Pause. You suck, Hakuni. Later that night, Naruto stretched his body and he looked at the stormy sky. For some reason the scenery in his mindscape felt better than the real place. To him, somehow it looked more fulfilling. He sighed again for the umpteenth time. You really need to sort this out, brat. Raiju chuckled lightly. Naruto grinned weakly. I know, but a little advice could help. I don't think that any advice I could give would be relevant to your current predicament. Raiju smiled and shook his head. Naruto mimicked him. He talked to Iruka about his irregular behavior around Hinata, who later told him that he was falling for the Hyuga heirs. But it confused him more, because if he was falling for Hinata, that what about his feeling Sakura? Iruka patiently explained to him the difference between them. After that, Naruto understood. He wanted Sakura's attention. He wanted her to treat him like how she treated Sasuke. He was starving for attention and wanted someone to notice him. At the end, it could have been anyone. But for Hinata it was different. He already had her attention, but it wasn't enough. He wanted more. He wanted to get closer, much more closer to her. He couldn't describe these feelings well. And now that she wasn't giving him as much attention as before, it was irritating him. Iruka told him that was what it felt like to truly like someone. If it was before, he would have rushed to her and asked her out on a date, but this time it was different. Because he was scared as there was a possibility that this may cost him the irreplaceable bond he already created with her. After all, he didn't know what she thought of him. Yes, she was kind to him, but that was her nature. He couldn't take it for granted. Naruto looked up at the moon. It resembled her so much that, so close yet so far. Honestly, I know what I should, but I am scared. Scared to take the next step. What if I mess up? Man up, Naruto. You are not someone who would back down. Where is a boy who wore the mask of the Thunder God to save one person? Where is a boy who didn't cower, even when he was in front of Lord Raijin, even when he was in front of me? Raiju bellowed in a thunderous voice. Naruto was taken aback. He dumbly looked at Raiju. Honestly, he was shaken to his core because of the sheer power of Raiju's voice. So you are gonna sit here and twiddle your fingers just because of what ifs? Raiju narrowed his eyes. Naruto stood straight. Hell no. Are you going to give up if she rejects you? Raiju smirked. Of course not. I will keep on trying till she bends. I will penetrate her defenses no matter how strong it is. Because this time I am not taking no for an answer, believe it. Naruto replied back with equal vigor. Raiju stopped and looked at Naruto with a blank face. What? Naruto also felt that something was wrong. Nothing. Pause. Naruto. Yeah. You need to expand your vocabulary. Next day. Naruto stopped doing his lightning element training for a few days. With his troubled mind, it was hard to concentrate his lightning chakra. So for now he was fully concentrating on his water elemental training. And so far it was going good but rather slowly. Right now he and Haku were doing light spar, even though Haku had more experience, but as usual Naruto was cornering her with his bottomless stamina. Stop, that's enough. Yamato ordered his students. Every once in a while he re-evaluated his students to make sure they know their weakness and strength and train accordingly. Haku, you need to build up your stamina. You are fast and precise, but the longer the fight goes on your performance diminishes faster than I thought. For now keep on training on physical exercises to fight longer. Your water release is better than I thought, so stick to taijutsu training. Yamato suggested, seeing Haku acknowledging that he moved to Naruto. Now as for you Naruto, I don't know what is wrong, but you are not your usual self. If something is bothering you, I am willing to listen. Yamato offered. Something was definitely wrong, but the question was what? Nah, don't worry sensei. I will take care of it myself. Naruto said with a cheeky grin, but his nervous eyes didn't fool Yamato. But knowing the kid, he knew it was better to let him solve his troubles by himself. Okay, if that's the case I will hold on to your training report for now and tell you when you are feeling better. Guess this is the end for today's training. See you all. With that Yamato left via Shunshin. Now all I have to do is to wait. Naruto thought to himself, every day Hinata would come to train with them after doing missions or rather chores with her team. And good thing her sensei was okay with that for now. Naruto sighed and sat down leaning on a tree. A few hours later, Hinata and Haku were training together on their taijutsu. For Hinata she was using gentle fist, but more flexible way, and she wasn't using her chakra, just simple taijutsu to increase the power of the strikes as well as to increase her battle stamina. And the same could be said for Haku. Naruto told them that he was fine training alone, but in truth he was just waiting for Hinata to finish her training. And seeing that she was done, he rushed to her. Yo Hinata-chan, you did great. Naruto smiled forcibly. He was never been so nervous in his life. Thank you Naruto-kun. Hinata smiled brightly, but her eyes showed concern for him. He knew he can't hide against those all-seeing beautiful eyes. Are you free tomorrow, Hinata-chan? Naruto cursed himself for his blunder. Hinata looked at her crush confusedly. He was probably going to ask her to train as usual, but why was he nervous? Yes, I am Naruto-kun. Is it about training? And no, not training. I was wondering, if you would like to, if you are free we can hang out together. Naruto almost bit his tongue. Hinata just tilted her head cutely. Haku was seeing all these from a bit far away, and she was having a hard time to contain her laughter. How ironic it was that the confident boy was now a stuttering mess, and asking the girl for a date, while the shy girl was being oblivious to it. Yup, too damn funny. Like usual, right, Naruto-kun? Hinata implored. She had no clue what was going on. How could she? Every time Naruto would ask the same way to train with her, or just to grab lunch. Will you go out with me? Naruto spoke so fast that he bit his tongue. Huh? Hinata asked. Haku thought it was best if she interfered, otherwise the conversation would go nowhere. Hinata-chan, Naruto-kun was asking if he could take you out on a date. Isn't that right, Naruto-kun? Haku said sweetly, but her smirk was obvious. Naruto just glared at her, but looked at Hinata and nodded. Sure Naruto-kun. Hinata said smiling but with her eyes closed. Oh yes. Tomorrow at 9, meet you at Ichiraku's. With that Naruto bolted. He had lots of planning to do. Haku laughed a bit and mentally praised herself. Naruto didn't last a week just like she thought. Well, guess the hard-to-get plan was successful. See Hinata-chan, I told you he would be the first one to come at you if you follow this strategy. So girl, what is your plan? Haku asked Hinata cheerfully but didn't receive any reply. She looked at Hinata to see she was still standing and smiling, while making no motion of moving at all. Hinata-chan, Haku went close to see what was wrong. Hinata, what's wrong? Why, oh shit. Hinata. She isn't breathing. Next morning. It was 7 in the morning. Naruto checked, double-checked, triple-checked the list of what he needed to do to make sure he didn't mess up the chance he finally got. Last night he went to bed early. Well, he had to make a shadow clone to knock himself out cause he couldn't sleep being so nervous. But before that he made few shadow clones, and for some time they read few great dating books, Dating Guide for Noobs, How to Woo Your Girlfriend, Icha series. Gotta catch 'em all in Ichirocho series. Capturing a young maiden's heart. Now packed with all the wonderful and dirty. Useful knowledge. He knew what he had to do, but despite that he couldn't help but be nervous. Suddenly few clones came in and mock saluted him. Alright, place for date, check, gifts, check, flowers, check, and self-dress up looks at himself, check I guess. Okay guys, you know what you have to do and do it fast and appropriately. He ordered his clones. Ready or not, here I come, might Tsukihime. For the first date, go to the meeting place an hour early. So taking the advice from the books he reached Ichiraku's place at 8 sharp. He was nervous to boot, and why wouldn't he be? He asked the Princess of Konoha to a date, and he knew no matter how much he screwed up, Hinata wouldn't get mad. What if? Naruto's thought process stopped when he saw Hinata coming, and he didn't even had to wait more than 10 minutes. Hinata was wearing a short-sleeve amethyst shirt, and the top part was open enough to show her gifts from her mother, but only the idea of them, but not enough to broadcast them. She was wearing a medium-length white skirt that stopped at her knees with blue flowers decorating the skirt. The skirt itself was also slit on 2 sides of her legs all the way up to, just before hitting her thighs, showing her thin pair of light blue shorts which she wore underneath. The skirts revealed some of her legs, while highlighting her curves, showing she had the figure that most girls would die for to have. Naruto was stunned. He knew he had to greet and compliment her, but his brain took the perfect time to shut down itself. Hinata giggled, seeing Naruto's expression as his face said it all, of what he was thinking about her. She blushed prettily when she saw that with a white mouth and a crimson face. Naruto was checking her out rather openly. But she got to admit Naruto was looking quite good himself, as he was wearing a long-sleeve red shirt with hat the ends of each sleeve, and at the bottom of the shirt was black flames. The shirt itself was buttoned up, but few were unbuttoned from the top down, showing Naruto's net shirt and revealing his firm chest with lean muscle. His pants were black with red flames at the top of the pants, and at the bottoms of each pants leg. Both his pants and shirt were light enough and thin enough to not be skin tight, but also to allow mobility. Good morning, Naruto-kun, you are looking great today, Hinata said meekly. Naruto shouted in his mind. Brain. Work. You looking hot too, and good morning. Fuck. Naruto wanted to bang his head. Meanwhile Hinata was doing her best not to laugh. To her it was so cute of Naruto to see that she could do so much to ever. So confident Naruto was a boost to her self-confidence. Even Haku sent a letter in the early morning saying what Naruto did last night. She didn't say anything about the plan itself, only his nervous breakdown. I can still manage to save this state, Naruto panicky thought. Compliment the girl's looks messed up. Moving on. Naruto snapped his finger, and suddenly Hinata found herself surrounded by Naruto's shadow clones. But the amazing part was all of them were kneeling while holding up various kinds of flowers, from lavender leucanthus to lavender roses. She even spotted some beautiful red hibiscus as well. From bystanders' point of view, that was one of the best romantic scenes they had seen. Some even awed at them forgetting who was doing the deed. Hinata blushed fiercely. Thank you, Naruto-kun. They are beautiful. Naruto took one lavender rose and put it in Hinata's hair. In his mind he was trying to remember what that particular flower symbolized, but nothing came out. Damn, what to do? Maybe that part from Ichiricho's series. Gotta catch 'em all will work. Don't worry Hinahime, they don't even hold a candle against your beauty, Naruto said cheekily while winking at her. Hinata had to do her best not to faint, but her blush increased fiercely, and she had to look down to avoid Naruto's intensive gaze. Give her flowers of her liking and be passionate about it. Pulled out perfectly. For the place of the date, it was quite hard to find a decent one, as most of the restaurants would be harsh to him at least, which would most likely ruin the date. That's where Ichiricho's series Capture a Young Maiden's Heart helped him out by telling him that sometimes having an outside picnic for a date could replace the most exquisite restaurants, if one knew where to have the picnic. And luckily for him, he knew the perfect place. Their previous academy had a private training ground, a beautiful field with waterfall, and it was the best place for taking Hinata there. Because from what she told him before, that she really liked the place when she was a student. What he didn't know was that she liked the place because Naruto used to train there most of the time. But the problem was, once in every few weeks one class would go and train there, being supervised by a teacher, and ominously for him their date collided. But Lady Luck smiled at him, as this time the supervising teacher was Iruka, although Iruka didn't want to give him the field without a good reason, so he had to resort to make a deal with the devil, who gladly took care of the problem. Now he had the beautiful training field all to himself. Open your eyes, Hinata-chan. Hinata opened her eyes, only to get shocked to see the amazing place. The training ground was filled with different kinds of purple to blue flowers, and in the middle there was a wooden table with bench which was also nicely decorated. Beside it stood another Naruto, who wore a pure white shirt with loose sleeves, closed on the right shoulder, with a fastener running down the right part of the chest, matching pants, with a black apron tied around his waist and black shinobi sandals. Neji's outfit from Shippuden. Hinata pinched herself to see if she was dreaming or not, because the place looks exactly like one of her dreams. Come on, Hinata-chan, let's enjoy ourselves. For eating, take her to a beautiful place. Mission accomplished. For Hinata, it was one of the best moments in her life. Naruto was treating her with utmost care and respect. Although it was quite funny to watch him try to act poetic one moment and next he would act very passionate. But the best parts were the times when he was making mistakes. Even if it was a small one, he was acting as if it was the end of Konoha. Especially when the waiter Naruto would stumble with words as he was trying his best to mimic the high-class restaurant's waiters. The real Naruto would glare daggers at him. Cute. All these moments helped her to make up her mind. If Naruto asks her to be his girlfriend at the end of the date, she would gladly accept, but she didn't faint first. She was well aware of her newfound status in the village and all the proposals she was getting, but she could care less about any of those. My life, my choice, she thought with determination. After the wonderful lunch, they went around Konoha to relax and have fun. Hinata let Naruto take her wherever he wanted after seeing his determined look. They went to a dancing hall to dance there only to find out that Hinata was dancing almost like a professional dancer, while Naruto was dancing like he had a cockroach under his shirt. Take her to dancing and show how good you are fucked up. After that, Naruto took Hinata to his favorite place, top of the Hokage monument. She enjoyed it very much, at least that's what her expression felt like to Naruto. Hinata-chan, can you close your eyes? Hinata smiled and did as told. She felt something was being put around her neck, opened them. Hinata opened to see a gorgeous, an expensive-looking sliver-colored necklace with Uzumaki's symbol on it. It was round, and was quite well crafted, and it looked like it was one of a kind. Also there were some symbols behind it, but it was very faint. Naruto-kun, what is this? Hinata asked in a very surprised voice. I got it in my last mission. After I researched a bit, I found out that it belonged to the Uzumaki clan. I didn't find much, but I found something interesting. The back symbol indicates protection, so I want you to have it. Naruto replied sincerely. Hinata smiled genuinely and mustered up all her courage to do one thing she thought she could never do so easily. She kissed Naruto on the cheek. Naruto's brain gloriously shut down once again. Take her to a nice place and give her a beautiful gift. Score. Last on the list was to walk her home. He checked it, making sure Hinata didn't see that and started walking with her. But unbeknownst to him, Hinata activated her Byakugan at one point and had hard time holding in her giggle when she saw what Naruto had with him. A checklist to have a perfect date. So cute. Hinata giggled to herself. But the last nerve-wracking hardest part was coming. This is it, do or die. Naruto was shaking his head while chanting it out aloud without knowing. Hinata smiled softly hearing his chanting. He knew Naruto would be more nervous than her. Hinata-chan, I hope you enjoyed the date. Naruto asked hopefully. Yes I did, it was one of the best day of my life. Hinata smiled warmly while directly looking at her crush's eyes. Today was really a great day for boosting her self-confidence. Go for it, spill it. Hinata-chan, I am not good with beating around the subject. We both know I am not that smart. So I will ask you directly. Naruto sharply took a long breath. Will you be my girlfriend? Yes, yes I will. Hinata answered while small tears were forming in her eyes. I understand that you don't want to, so can we? Wait, what? Naruto was speaking in a dejected voice until Hinata's word finally registered into his mind. You want to be my girlfriend? Hinata nodded happily, as in like couple, lover, that kind of girlfriend. Hinata blushed heavily, but she still smiled and nodded once again. 1 second. 2 second. 3 second. 4 second. 5 second. Naruto jumped around and started dancing like a drunken monkey. He stopped only to hug Hinata and started spinning her around. Hinata's laughter could be heard from far away. Best day ever. Both of them thought happily to themselves. Omake. Deal with the devil. Damn it, Iruka-sensei, why couldn't you give me the damn field just for tomorrow? I need it more than those pesky brats. Gah. Don't blame me for this, sensei. You are the one who bought this upon yourself. Naruto grumbled out while standing behind the door. No going back. Stealing his resolve, he knocked the door. The door opened after a while. Well, look who we have here, the one and only king of prankster. So what are you doing here, brat? I need your help and I know you will like it. With that, Naruto sealed the deal with the demon. After an hour, Iruka came out from the shower, but a subtle noise warned him that he was not alone. He took out a hidden kunai under the carpet and went to his bedroom to see an Anbu was doing something in his bed. But he couldn't see what he was doing nor his mask as his back was facing him. Who are you? And what are you doing here? Before Iruka could do or say anything anymore, a person went poof, revealing that he was nothing but a shadow clone. But something in his bed caught his eye, a scroll. He went to check it, but the moment he picked it up it transformed, and to his horror it was a pink panty. Ho ho ho, caught red-handed, Iruka-chan. A cheerful voice called him out from behind. Iruka mechanically looked back slowly to see a very, very happy Anko standing there. All these times you were rejecting my advances, and here you are now stealing my panties. I wonder why. I hope you are prepared for a little punishment. Anko said, licking her lips while eyeing Iruka hungrily. Iruka started to think faster than Inara could. He was in his bedroom with wearing only a towel while holding Anko's panty, and the said girl was giving off a very bad predatory kind of vibe. After analyzing the situation, In less than a minute he came up with hundreds of ways to get out from this mess. Although none of them could reassure his safety hack, he would be lucky if he could pull even one of them properly. He started to back down slowly. Bunko-san, please listen to me. This isn't what it looks like. I was framed. There was. Why are you undressing? Listen, damn it. Wait. Put that back on. Stop pulling my tail. Bad unko. Bad unko. Wait, help. A bit far away from the suspected crime scene, our hero was standing with a sad face. I am sorry, Ruka-sensei. I will never forget your heroic sacrifice. But know this, when I become the Hokage, I will put your name on the hero's memorial stone. You shall not be forgotten. Ah, who am I kidding? He is going to thank me later anyway. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.